one of the Jetpro New Zealand Jet Sprinting Championships was at Shelter View Aquatrack in Wanganui. In the Suzuki Superboat in third place, it was the local Pat Dillon, pleasing the Ford fans with a third place. Second place, it was another Wanganuiite. This time, it was Duncan Wilson and Jamie Lee Lupton in Lethal Injection. A little bit quicker than Pat, but not good enough to take the number one spot on the podium. That went to Leighton Manel. It had been a busy weekend for Manel. He organises the Boxing Day motorcycle racing, but he was back in the driving seat here at Wanganui and good enough to claim maximum points in Suzuki Superboat.
Bloody awesome though. Good way to finish a good day.
So we move on to round two of the Jetpro New Zealand Jet Sprinting Championships to the Electronet Thunder Park in Gisborne, the newest of the permanent circuits for jet sprinting in New Zealand. It is just adjacent to the Gisborne airport and only 8 kilometres from downtown Main Street. Suzuki Superboat, well, they're all here. They're battling for a championship. This is Nick Berryman. This is qualifying round number 2. Have a look as we come up to the split time. 36.45 for Nick and Rochelle Berryman out of Rotorua. Just really getting to grips with the rotation here at Gisborne. You can see the islands not very high above the water level, and the tyre barriers are a problem as well. Talking to the drivers, working his way down towards the finish line now. Nick and Rochelle Berryman out of Rotorua. New Zealand Riverjet is the boat. Under the Glass Pro finish barrier they go, and a 65.25 for Nick and Rochelle. This is Rob Coley. The boat is Poison Ivy, 705 cubic inches of big block, and he has made a mistake here. Okay, it's only qualifying round 2, but a navigational error for Coley. Brent White, the next one to go. Morris Edwards sits alongside them. Something close to 200 years experience between the two of them, and the years and the ages and the experience in the boat. And another one that's gone wrong. Well, the rotation has been difficult. Peter Host hasn't had problems in qualifying round number 1. Let's see what he does in qualifying 2. 36.30 at the split. This is the quad rotor, remember. Ginza Bargains are the sponsors. And this is the real effort coming in here from this amazing piece of engineering. And listen to the sound of this engine. It sounds like an Indy car. It's actually a quad rotor, so essentially 2 RX-7 engines bolted together with a whole lot of Kiwi ingenuity and a whole lot more on that. A huge turbocharger, and it's a 63.92, so he goes quickest so far. But will that time stand? Duncan Wilson, Jamie Lee Lupton, Lethal Injection is the boat. 640 cubic inches of big block. Finished second last year in the title chase to Richard Burt. Previous runs, that 161, well, that was a mistake. Let's see what he can do this time around. Split was at 32.70. Well, you would expect him to go faster than what we've seen previously, although we are early in the qualification rounds. And he does go faster. 58.58 for Duncan Wilson. Leighton Manel and Hammer Time. Kelly Manel sits alongside him. Coming up to the split here. Oh, not as fast as I would have thought for Leighton. That 39.81. He gets very close to the island there, and if you hit those tyre barriers, you're along for the ride. You can take a second to half a second off your time. Down towards the finish line now. He's going to blow out. It's not going to be very satisfactory for Leighton and Kelly Manel. It's going to be 65.52, not what they were looking for at all. This is the Ford fans' favourite, Pat Dillon. 33.50 at the split, so he is about on the pace with Duncan Wilson, and that's good news for the man from Wanganui. Steve Edmund sits alongside him. The boat, a 410, blown and injected Ford. The Hulk 2, lots of mechanical issues last season, but they're on top of it now. Had a good performance at Wanganui. Are they going to back it up here? Qualifying round number 2 for Suzuki Superboat, and Pat the Marshall Dillon is on a tear here, 59.63. So he breaks the 60-second barrier, and it puts him in second place early on in Suzuki Superboat. Pace leader is Duncan Wilson in Lethal Injection, that 58.58. Not a good run for Leighton Manel. Maybe he's got some problems, and more problems for Brent White and Rob Coley. Well, this is Rob Coley. The boat is Poison Ivy. Mouthfresh are the sponsors. 705 cubic inches of big block aluminium Chevy. And just listen to this thing. It sounds like it's hardly working, but it's going pretty darn quickly. But he's had his problems, and he's got another problem here. Brent White qualifying round number 3. 36.71 at the split for Brent and Morris Edwards. Kiwi Battler is the boat. Sprint car engine in the machine, and and he had problems in the first go-around with a navigational error. What's he going to do this time round? This is qualifying round number 3. From here we move on into another qualification round and then into the elimination. So really early days here for Suzuki Superboats, but he's going to post a time, and that's going to give him some encouragement, some confidence going into the eliminations. 66.83 for Brent White. Duncan Wilson, fastest in qualifying round number 2 with that 58.58. 34 and change at the split, so he is going in the right direction. His last split time was in the 32, so not quite as quick as the previous round. But they'll just be learning the rotations, making some subtle changes to the rotors and the vanes and the jet units. Maybe playing with the jetting. It's extremely hot here in Gisborne today. Down to the line he comes. Duncan Wilson out of Wanganui, 60.51. He won't be all that happy with that, I wouldn't think. Nick Berryman, I don't think he can expect to match the times of the likes of Leighton Manel and Duncan Wilson, but he can be there or thereabouts. Previous runs, you see that 67, and then he blew out. He had a navigational error. So this is the time to make the mistakes, because we get into the eliminations and it becomes very, very cutthroat. Nick Berryman, 36.09 at the split. What's the final time going to be? Well, it's going to blow out again as he heads under the Glass Pro arch. 64.86 for Nick and Rochelle Berryman. Qualification round number 3 for Suzuki Superboat. This is Pat Dillon. Previous best time, that 59.63. Started cautiously into the 60-second bracket for the first run. Now he's looking to go a little bit better. Just squeeze that throttle a little more gingerly on the supercharged and fuel-injected big block Ford. The Hulk 2 is the boat. Split was a 32.90. That's the fastest we've seen in this qualification round. Are we going to see the fastest time so far? 58.81 we do. Peter Host and his brother Gary sitting alongside him. The boat is Ginza. Split time of a 34.61. And that's 2 seconds up on what he did in the previous qualification round, so he's heading in the right direction. This is qualification round number 3. We've got one qualification round to go, and then we're into the eliminations here at the Electronet Thunder Park in Gisborne. Peter Host with this brand new Superboat. Heading down towards the line now, and it will be a 61.96. You're riding here with Leighton and Kelly Manelli. You can see the smoke from the engine. They've got problems. They've yet to launch Hummer Time, and they're not going to launch it. They've pulled the pin.
Is the winch still on? No.
So it did not start for Leighton and Kelly Manel. They've got problems. Well, desperate bad luck for the Manels out of Wanganui. That's going to hurt their championship. Pat Dillon, the fastest, with a 58.81. Remember, only in qualification round number 3. Duncan Wilson right on his hammer with that 60.51. And Peter Host showing that the Rotor Boys can do it too with that 61.96. Qualification round number 4 now. Kiwi battler is the boat. Brent White and Morris Edwards. Morris Edwards, a past champion in the New Zealand Jet Pro Lights, the introductory class, if you like. He had that navigational error in qualification number 2 and qualifying number 3. He did a 66.88. Let's see what he can do this time round. The split was a 36.19, and that's about the same speed or thereabouts of what he's done in qualification 3. He's really going to have to bring it home hard now. The man that's been around the sport for a long, long time, Brent White with the 65.37, so he goes faster. On board here with Duncan Wilson. Lethal Injection is the boat. 33.45 at the split for Duncan and Jamie Lee Lupton. You can see just how close they get to the islands here, or to the tyre barrier, which keeps them off the islands, but certainly can unsettle the boat if you scrape them. And I can tell you that some of the boats have come back with black marks on the hull where they have scraped the tyres here at Gisborne. Round 2 of the Jet Pro New Zealand Jet Sprinting Championship as we ride down towards the finish here with Duncan Wilson. Is he going to better his previous time? 59.08 in qualification number 4. He did a 60.51 in 3, so he's going faster as well. Peter, to be fair to say at round number 1, you stunned a few with the power plant in the boat, and I guess the performance first time up.
Yeah, the power plant is great. It's got a lot of boogie. We're struggling today with, we think it's the heat. we can't get the ambient temperature down just low enough for where we need it to be to really perform. So the boat's it's going well, but it's not really hauling like I was in the last meeting. So we're trying to get that fixed now, and I'm still struggling to get smooth on that drive, but it's going better.
Well, you heard it from the horse's mouth, if you like. Peter Host says the boat is going better, the engine's going better. They're a little bit worried about the temperatures that they're getting from their laptop computer readings in their data logging, because it's very hot here. Very, very hot indeed. I'd say it's around about 35 degrees. The big crowd sweltering at Gisborne for round 2 of the Jetsprinting Championship. Peter Host went through the split time with a 34.59. So he's on target to repeat what he did last time. That was a 61.96. He goes quicker. 61.62 for Host. Pat Dillon now. Listen to that Ford scream. Well, scream's not the word, because these engines don't rev very hard at all. They don't seem like they're doing a lot of work, but of course they are. 32.92. He was the fastest in qualifying number 3, or the fastest split time anyway. Oh, and he's got a major mechanical issue. You heard the engine go off song there. Well, he had all sorts of mechanical problems last year with the Hulk. They had flame-out problems, they had ignition problems, they had fueling problems, and now he's got another engine setback here. And in fact, the engine has cut out, so he's going to need assistance to get back to the ramp. So it's all gone horribly wrong for Pat Dillon in qualification round number 4. Duncan Wilson tops the tree with that 59.08. Peter Host is second with 61.62. And Brent White, Kiwi battler, in third with 65.37. Bad news for the rest of them. So we are into the top 12. Remember, from 12 we will cut them to 8, and then there'll be 5, and then there'll just be 3. But because of the numbers, you can guarantee that most of the Suzuki Superboat field will get through. Brent White and Morris Edwards, Kiwi battler is the boat. Brent's been a long time associate of Jetsprinting in New Zealand, both as a driver many moons ago and as a supporter and crew for other teams, the likes of Eric Hoxema. But he decided last year to gather up all the courage and get his own boat. He did so. Ex-sprint car engine in the back. Let's have a look at the split time. It'll need to be around about the 34-second mark, I would think, for Brent White. 35.28, so he's blown out just a little bit now. Really going to have to bring it home hard. Morris Edwards, his navigator, all the experience in the world, sits alongside him. Oh, and they've got it wrong. They've picked up the tyre bundle. Oh, and they've nearly picked up our cameraman, and they've put it up into the hospitality. Can you believe it? When it goes wrong big time in Gisborne. Have a look at this. Just gets that line out of the corner a little bit wrong, and he's going to kiss the side of the island. That upsets the boat. He hits the other side of the next island. Then he's onto the grass. He doesn't slow down. He goes right through the fence, right by our cameraman.
Brent, I guess there's only one question. What happened?
Myself. I stuffed it up. Had problems all day. First round, I had glasses on, water, threw them off, put the hand on the wheel, knocked the mag off. Second round, we just about got there. Third round, fourth round, we turned it up, but we're just not there. So made some real drastic changes and sort of figured, I'm not going to be beaten by a rotary. And the rotary's going to beat us today.
Pretty wild ride.
Nah, easy. Better than a sprint car, better than a stock car though, eh? So, no, it's all good.
You're telling me before you crashed, you got it wrong, it was feeling real good.
That was the best it's gone. Like, we were going down in nozzle sides. I went the other way and it just came alive, and it was just so much easier to steer, and I just thought, right, that's where I can pick some time. I made a mistake, put my hand up, got a good mate here, no one's hurt. Off to Auckland with a few scratches.
Nick and Rochelle Berryman, the boat is New Zealand Waterjet. It's a Chev 410, runs around about 800 odd horsepower. It's a Macraft Mark III hull from Bluff. So it's an older boat, but it's getting the job done here for this husband and wife couple from Rotorua. Have a look at his previous times. He's been around about the 60-second mark. If he's kept it on the right way round, he had a navigational error early on in the qualifications, but he's got through to the first round of elimination. Needs to be around about the 34-second, high 34 split, I would think. 34 65.25, so he's blown out just a little bit. But of course, there's no time to beat at this stage because poor old Brent White couldn't finish the course. The good news with Whitey and also Magoo, Morris Edwards were fine. Boat a little bit scratched up, but that's about all. But it puts them out. These guys don't want to go out so early. New Zealand Riverjet is the boat heading down towards the finish line now. Nick and Rochelle Berryman out of Rotorua. 64 dead, so that's an improvement. So they'll be happy with that. At this stage, they will be going to the next round. Peter House is next to go. His brother Gary sits alongside him. You're riding in the best seat in the house. Have a look at the previous times. He's been in the 61s. Needs to go a little bit better than that though. 61 in qualifying round 3, 61 in qualifying round 4. This is the top 12, so we're into eliminations. The only time posted so far is Nick and Rochelle Berryman. With that 64 dead, they did a split of around about 35 seconds. Let's see what the split will be for Peter House. Well, we cut to the outside shot, and can you believe it? Peter House has gone wrong. He should have gone right there. He's decided to go left. Now, has he got the forethought to keep going? He's got to post a time. He's got to right his wrong, firstly, go back onto the original rotation and post a time. Such has been the demise of some of the Suzuki Superboaters. He will go through to the next elimination if he can put a time up. Now he is back on the original course. Well, it's going to blow out, but it won't matter because we have so many DNFs today here in Gisborne and Suzuki Superboat. No longer in the competition. Brent White, Leighton Manel, Rob Coley. Just listen to that quad rotor sing as he works his way down. Well, it's going to be 20 seconds over what he would normally do. But the fact is he's going to post the time, and if he can post the time, he should go through to the next elimination. He gets the finish, 84.53. So Peter House rides all his luck with that 84.53, but you can see from the DNFs and the did not starts and the problems, there's only two of them in it, Nick Berryman and Peter House. So we are down to the finals in Suzuki Superboat, and there's nothing like a bit of drama to focus your attention. That has certainly got the attention of Nick and Rochelle Berryman because they've got starter motor problems. You heard them trying to fire up the big block, and it's not working. They're going to change the starter motor, can you believe it? They've done it 3 times already today. They can change them pretty quick, but while all this is going on, of course, Peter House is waiting.
I hate to do it to you, but this is drama you didn't need.
No, we've had a bad day of starter motors, done 3 and ring gear, and then we had to do 3 extra starts. And every time we started, a boat broke down. So we it was really touch and go with the starting. And hey, let's hope the guys can pull it off and put the new starter in the 5 minutes we got and get out there.
Similar to the Speedway, you got like a 2-minute clock, but this is a 5-minute clock on you. Can they change the starter motor in 5 minutes?
They did it in 2 before.
All right.
Well, time is ticking away for Nick and Rochelle Berryman. This is Peter House. First time in the final in Suzuki Superboat. You see, he got it wrong, that 84.53 in the top 12. Before that, he's been firmly in the 63, 64 second bracket. 61's in qualification. If he can repeat that, he should take out his first title here at the Electronet Thunder Park track here at Gisborne. Round 2 of the New Zealand Jet Sprinting Championships. You're riding with Peter and Gary House. The boat is Ginza. It's a quad rotor Mazda, thinking outside the square with the power plant. But still plenty of power. They can tune up to 1,400 horsepower out of this quad rotor, this master of Kiwi ingenuity. Oh, and he got very, very close to the island there, so he's not going to leave you in any doubt. He's giving it everything. So 34.88 at the split for the hosts, Peter and Gary. You're riding with them on board. Can they win their first title here in Suzuki Superboat for 2011? Or will Nick and Rochelle Berryman post a better time? Remember, it was an 84 last time round. They blew out. They have a navigational error, but they got a time, and that's what's got them into the final. They head down towards the finish line now. It's going to be a 62.5, so it's a great run. 62.5 and is it going to be enough? Oh, and there's still more drama down on the quayside because they just can't get Riverjet fired up. And Mel Clooney, the clerk of the course here, has come down and said to them, I'm sorry, your 5 minutes is up. And that means that Nick and Rochelle Berryman will not face the starter in the final. So that means Peter Hose gets his first win in Suzuki Superboat. So there it is in black and white. History making for the hostess of Wanganui. They win the Suzuki Superboat round here in Gisborne.
We had trouble with a heat in our engine and whatnot, so we did what we needed to do, so we're glad about that. But it's really disappointing that there's so much carnage with the engines, and especially with Nick. And I know that engine. I used to work on it myself. It was a sprint car engine that I used to tune and look after. So that's a real shame, but it was good to see them up there.
I know you said to us that a win was always on the cards for your new boat. Are you surprised that it came so early?
Yeah, I'm surprised it came this way. It's not going to slow us down. We're going to keep climbing. We want to keep on that podium, and we want to do it the right way. And well, that's our challenge, and we'll keep trying.
Well, dramatic changes on the scoreboard here in Suzuki Superboat. Peter Hose vaults to first after the win in Gisborne, but conversely, Leighton Manel and Pat Dillon slipped down to fourth equal after having problems here on the East Coast.